Good morning. I would say good morning, everyone, but there could be absolutely no one watching this. So if you are watching, thank you very much. I'm going to look completely unnatural, smile too much, not smile enough, and do lots of funny things with my face because I am terrible in front of the camera, just like I've completely unnatural to me. I've done lots of work on stage last year, talking to 200 people, 100 people, 50 people. I love that. Feels natural to me. But this is a bit different. This is harder. But it's a New Year's resolution to put myself out there and do some things that are uncomfortable to me. So let's see how this goes. So why am I talking? Why have I gone live? I want to talk about customer experience. I've been talking about customer experience for quite some time. I work in the world of customer experience, elevate, deliver customer experience projects, transformations, and I want to share some of that work over the coming months. And so this is a bit of a kickoff to that. So why am I passionate about customer experience? I worked for a Virgin business early in my career, and I got to see what true customer centricity was. The culture was amazing, outcomes were amazing, we led the industry. What really annoyed me was that as a customer to other businesses outside of work, I didn't get that same experience. And I feel that that's a duty to deliver that. I'm not just saying this because I work in the world of customer experience. It really annoyed me that organizations couldn't even deliver basic customer promises. You don't need to wow me. You don't need to, sugarcoat it and put sparkles on it. I just want my expectations met. And so I've always been passionate that it's easily achieved, but are the hard yards put in to really make it happen. There's a big focus on customer experience this year and customer outcomes, and I'm going to define the two in a minute because of the FCA Consumer Duty, which really kind of puts pressure on organizations this year, trying to get organizations to up their game and deliver on their promises, especially if you're in the financially regulated aspect of service and you have financial products. So let's define the difference. Customer experience is about how your customers feel during the interactions. Our process is smooth, engaging, satisfying. Meanwhile, customer outcomes is more focusing on the tangible results. Did your product or service solve the problem and meet the need? And that's the important thing. I could come off a phone call or an interaction with an organization and think they were lovely, they were really polite, they were personable. They did a great job, they took ownership. Actually, they didn't do maybe what they said they were going to do, and I didn't find that out until later. Even worse, as I might be finding up at the end of, say, my contract period, and they might not move me onto a better product, and I don't know that. Maybe I might find that out in the future, but I might not ever know that at all. And that's good customer outcome. So I can have good customer experience without having a good outcome, and that's where the FCA are really making sure that we deliver those great outcomes. And what I've been talking about for 3-4 months, and I want to bring to this forum and to this audience, is how do you become customer centric? Because I believe that if you have customer centricity in your organization, people just do the right thing and they deliver great experiences and they deliver great outcomes. And customer centricity is a cultural thing. It's customer centric culture. It's how the organization operates and works as one for customer in the background. We think there's 3 truths or 3 things that are really important in driving customer centricity. And the first one, it's not just about your values. Values matter, right? But they're words on a wall. And great businesses go beyond the words on the wall and get their leaders demonstrating and living those values through behavior. I can share with you an organization that we worked with that had 36 people from the top tier of the leader, execs and 1 level below, 36 people in a room, 3 workshops, 1 day at a time. So add that up, that's over 100 hours of leadership time spent debating whether we should use the word care or empathy, and customer or tenant. The housing association. 100 hours debating semantics when the hard yards could have been done out showing employees what we mean by being customer centric, by showing what we mean by care or empathy, and treating customers or tenants in the right way. So that's just an example. Values are important, don't make them your everything. The second truth that we strongly believe in, which is team climate eats company culture for breakfast. Right? Focus on team climate. You can't control culture. It's very important, but it's completely nebulous. It's the shadow of leadership. It's the shadow we cast from the behaviors that we demonstrate. And if you think about a large organization that has field-based, site-based, office workers, we can all have a completely different experience of that organization, because really it comes down to the person that you're being led by. And research shows that we leave our boss, we leave a bad boss, we don't necessarily leave a bad organization. And you can have good bosses in a bad organization. So our cultural, whilst there's a cultural footprint, and we might see some similarities, our experiences as employees are quite often very different. If you focus on team climate, you can control the little bit of culture for a group of people, and you can make a difference. You can make it very customer centric. 3 really quick examples. We think there's 10 leader behaviors or behaviors that anybody can influence within their team. First one, role modeling. Jeff Bezos used to leave a seat in his boardroom and say, that's for the customer. And any decision they made as a business, he would look to the chair and say, what would our customer, if in the room, would say about that? And they used to make a lot of decisions, taking themselves in that third person view. That's role modeling. Is it any wonder that any customer service agent can take any product offline after just one complaint? That's empowerment that comes as a result of demonstrating true role modeling. Another is proximity. So you can't just sit in a boardroom and have your customer in a room with you. You've got to get out and speak to your customers, speak to your people. Proximity is taking the long walk from the car park to your office. It's about getting out and taking calls, not because it looks good and it's an act of role modeling, but because it gives you the chance to find problems and fix them for customers and employees. Quite often the answers are right there and you don't find them in a boardroom. And the third thing would be a big one for us. We call it illuminating awesome, and it's positive critique. A lot of organizations, particularly in the UK, we are very negative, and feedback skews towards fixing faults and finding faults and highlighting faults. And sometimes every single fault that we can find, especially when we do call center listening, call listening in contact centers. But actually, if we look for where people are trying, praise effort, praise accountability, and praise the behaviors that are customer centric, then quite often more of that stuff shows. And when we're praising, we don't just mindlessly cheerlead and just clap everything and say, oh my God, you're amazing. It's about being specific, showing actionable, demonstrating and sharing stories about the things that were actionable, and praising people for making good progress towards things that are important for customers. So that's the third one I'm just going to share with you under team climate. And then this is the kicker for me. The third truth is performance drives culture. You don't have to wait for culture to drive performance. I've worked in a business where we had an amazing culture, but we amalgamated several businesses and the culture changed. It wasn't great. It probably took 7 years to turn that culture around. Now we can't wait, our customers can't wait 7 years till we get culture right that impacts positively on performance. But what we found is we got a number of case studies where we've looked at a first call resolution or an increase in NPS CSAT project, or an improvement in sales, any kind of performance-based commercial product or project, where we focused on developing team climate, changing mindset, developing capability, and getting some of those friction problems out of the way. They're the 4 things we think for that drive transformation and performance. Quite often what happens is attrition also goes down and employee engagement goes up. There's a thing. So we're tending to drive a great culture as a result of fixing something performance-wise. So here's the thing. Go and think about, are you high performing right now? And if not, look at your high performers, see what they're doing, and see how you can, see if you get the answer, find what it is they're doing. It helps you bridge the gap and helps you to do more of what they're doing. And quite often, when you put a project in place that focuses on that performance and starts to create more high performance, other people get motivated and engagement goes up. So there we go, 3 truths. And if we can do some of those things, then we start to drive more customer centricity, more customer centric culture in our business. And then a byproduct of that is we deliver great customer experience and we deliver great outcomes for our customers. So stay tuned, look at my LinkedIn. I'm going to be sharing lots of content, going to be sharing pretty much the keynote speech that we did last year. And we're also going to be sharing some stories of where organizations get it right and maybe some where they get it wrong. So stay tuned, engage, give your own point of view. I'd love to learn from you. And I'm also going to share some stuff from us. So thanks very much if you've made it this far. I said 5 minutes, it's 10. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm going to finish this LinkedIn Live and drop any thoughts or views you got in the comments.